program is the Active Center.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a financial relationship that is just absolutely fascinating and honestly, highly counterintuitive. You know, when you think about pro sports teams and their home cities, you probably imagine a pretty straightforward financial equation, right? But the reality here is this massive, complex web of investments, urban planning, and literal billion-dollar bets. Today, we're looking at Anaheim and its pro hockey team, the Ducks, who have basically drawn up a blueprint that fundamentally changes how we think about municipal sports deals. Let's get right into it. So, picture this. You're heading to a hockey game. You pay for parking, you scan your ticket, maybe you grab a ridiculously overpriced hot dog, a $15 stadium beer, or maybe even a brand new jersey. It's completely natural to wonder, does buying that ticket actually directly fund the city? Like, do you think that cash you're handing over on game day goes straight into the city's general fund to pay for local parks, or schools, or fixing potholes? The city built the arena, so they've got to be getting a cut of the nightly action, right?
Well, get ready for a bit of a reality check, because the answer is not directly. Actually, on a year-to-year basis, the City of Anaheim currently sees literally $0 directly from that parking you pay for, the beer you drink, or the merch you buy inside the arena. Zero. None of that game day cash flows immediately into the city's general fund. I know, it sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? Especially for a city hosting a major professional sports franchise.
To understand why the city is actually perfectly happy with this setup, we have to look back at their shared history. Let's rewind to 1993. Anaheim built the arena, which locals affectionately nicknamed The Pond, and Disney founded the Mighty Ducks to, capitalize on their hit movie. That laid the early foundation. Fast forward a bit to 2006, and the arena becomes the Honda Center thanks to a 15-year, $60 million naming rights deal, which actually gave the city a direct revenue stream at the time. Then, 2018 rolls around, bringing a massive commitment, a lease extension that locks the team in until 2053. This is a partnership that has weathered ownership changes, including the eventual sale to the current owners, Henry and Susan Samueli. Okay, let's clear up that revenue illusion I mentioned a second ago. Game day revenue, the tickets, the beer, the jerseys, it does not go straight to the city. Instead, the city's real economic benefit is generated through broader economic activity. We're talking sales and hotel taxes. It's the ripple effect. The team's presence brings thousands of people to Anaheim, and those people, they stay in hotels, they eat at local restaurants, they shop. That massive economic footprint is how the city actually fills its general fund. But you're probably thinking, that still leaves a massive question. If the city isn't taking the game day cash, where exactly is all that money going? $400 million. Yeah, let that sink in. It is a staggering figure, and it's the absolute key to solving this game day revenue puzzle. Since 2022, all those revenues from tickets, merch, and concessions, they haven't been lining the owners' pockets, and they haven't been going into city coffers either. They have been used entirely to pay down a massive $400 million bond. And this bond was issued specifically to build new parking structures and make major, much-needed improvements to the surrounding area. It's a huge reinvestment in infrastructure. So the absolutely crucial point here is how this specific debt is structured. Officially, this $400 million debt is an Anaheim Public Finance Authority bond. Sounds like the city's on the hook, right? Well, here is the absolute genius of this public-private partnership. This debt is entirely the responsibility of the Honda Center's operator, Anaheim Arena Management, LLC. And guess who owns that management company? The Ducks owners, Henry and Susan Samueli. By having the Samuelis step up and absorb this debt responsibility, the City of Anaheim's general fund is completely protected from the liability. Think about it. The city gets $400 million in infrastructure upgrades, and the taxpayers aren't on the hook for a single cent of that debt. Of course, shielding the city from all that debt does mean delaying the instant gratification. For Anaheim to eventually see a direct cut of the arena's yearly revenues, 3 very specific milestones have to be hit. First up, that $400 million bond we just talked about, it has to be paid off completely. Second, the arena itself needs to surpass a $6 million annual revenue threshold. And third, only after those first 2 conditions are met, the city and the team will finally split any additional revenue 50-50. So it's a long game. The city basically traded immediate, small-scale game day cash for long-term infrastructural growth and absolute protection from a massive debt liability. Which brings us to a pretty logical follow-up question, right? If the game day revenue is completely tied up in a $400 million bond and direct revenue sharing is still years away, how on earth is this a financial win for Anaheim today? Like, how do you bridge the gap between that delayed arena revenue and the immediate everyday economic needs of a major California city? Well, the answer actually lies outside the walls of the Honda Center. Brace yourselves, because we are adding another zero to the equation. $4 billion. This is the staggering private investment that serves as the absolute climax of this whole financial blueprint. And get this isn't public taxpayer money. No way. This is a massive, privately funded proposal by the Ducks owners that is going to completely transform the entire area.
This $4 billion behemoth of an investment is called OC Vibe. It is a completely privately funded master plan surrounding the Honda Center. We are talking about brand new hotels, incredible restaurants, and just a sprawling complex of entertainment venues. It takes the entire financial focus and shifts it way beyond just 41 home hockey games a year. It turns OC Vibe into a 365-day-a-year destination. Remember those sales and hotel taxes we talked about earlier? Yeah, this development is designed to put those exact tax revenues on absolute steroids.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why the city is all in on this master plan. Before this, the city was actively losing money managing the Anaheim Regional Transportation Intermodal Center. They were running a yearly operating deficit of negative $2.5 million. Ouch. But as part of this broader partnership, the Ducks affiliate actually stepped in and absorbed that expense. Now, once the OC Vibe project is fully up and running, the city is projecting a massive new tax windfall. We're looking at an estimated $9.2 million in brand new yearly revenue. So they traded a $2.5 million drain for a $9.2 million gain, and they did it largely without risking the city's general fund. Just brilliant.
So what does this all mean for the future of Anaheim? Simply put, the future is incredibly secure. The lease is officially locked in until 2053, and there's even a 20-year extension option on top of that. The Samueli family is injecting over $1 billion of their own private investment into the arena and OC Vibe. The team is firmly committed to keeping the name Anaheim right there on the jerseys for global marketing. Oh, and just to prove the arena's long-term relevance, it's going to host indoor volleyball at the 2028 Summer Olympics. These aren't just empty promises. These are locked-in, long-term guarantees of a truly modern, strategic partnership.
We started this explainer by looking at a simple hockey ticket and wondering where the money goes. What we found was honestly a masterclass in urban economic strategy. The Anaheim Ducks and the City of Anaheim have proven that the real value of a sports franchise isn't in the hot dog sales. It's in leveraging the team as the anchor for massive, privately funded, tax-generating districts. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. As sports increasingly reshape our urban landscapes, is the era of the simple, straightforward stadium lease totally over? Has it been permanently replaced by the multi-billion-dollar master plan? It's a question every single city with a sports team is likely asking themselves right now. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.